there's two types. There's income, there's expenses, and then there's recurring, right? As in, where one's perpetual, income can create income, right?
That's true.
So, but we'll talk about it's expenses, man. I mean, everything's gotten so expensive, and the problem is that people won't stop buying the silly stuff. Right? I mean, I'm like a $7 cup of coffee, and there's a line around the corner. I mean, that's and then be like, I don't have any savings. Those are the sort of things that that are just crazy. All right, we're ready. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
your
American dream. Yep. Hey, and just a quick little thing. Everybody understand that you can also get us at the Home Team 512 on the YouTube or the Facebook.
You're everywhere, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, TikTok's right around the corner.
And I think we're on the Instagram, but I'm not sure.
On the Instagram?
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for you to bust out with your TikTok dance, and we'll be.
Yeah. I don't know if I can do TikTok.
Why not?
Well, it's just really. I don't know.
I think you can.
I don't know.
I think you're cutting yourself short.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we talked to that one guy, and I'm like, hey, I just throw it up here, and it ends up over there. And he's like, no, that's not what happens. I'm like, it happens for me.
Well, you have a neat person who you worked with that helps you out quite a bit.
Absolutely. He's like, that's not how it works. Like, it happens for me.
Yeah, you need to give her a shout out.
Yes. Oh, Amanda?
Yeah.
The marketing super. No, I don't want somebody to come and try to hire her.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, she's terrible at her job.
She's awesome. She's adorable as well.
Yes, amazing. She does a great job of getting this information out for everybody, and couldn't do it without her.
Nope.
And and I'm not saying that because I'm saying that. I'm saying that because, oh my God, is that true?
It's very true. Yeah. I won't go into that, but yes. All right. So hey, right now we talked last segment, and money's a big thing, right?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people out there are hurting.
Yeah.
And they're complaining that the government needs to take care of this and take care of that and take care of this. Well, there's some things you can do, right? I mean, yes, there's certain things outside your control. We already know that.
Well,
and there's some things that are within your control.
Well, Ronald Reagan did say something that has stuck with me for a while, and it's like the scariest phrase to him is, "I'm with the government. I'm here to help."
Right.
That's what Ronald Reagan said.
And I'm in between, right? The government's there to help with certain things, right? If not, we wouldn't have roads and schools and things like that, most certainly. But to stay off of that, it is what it is. What you're going through, everyone's going through, right? But some people are better prepared, right? Better prepared as far as education goes. And,
knowledge, I think.
No, that's what I'm saying. They have a lack of knowledge. They're not stupid. They're just ignorant. And so, in these times, like you just said earlier, we are bombarded by marketing through. I mean, the first thing that people usually do when they get out of bed in the morning is they get to Facebook to see who's been chiming in on their stuff or what's happened while you're sleeping, right? But right off the bat, that's marketing. Marketing's just hitting you on what you need to buy, when you need to buy it.
72% of the people surveyed said the first thing they do is check their social media.
Social media. But that means you're just bombarded first thing in the morning. And social media, when something, I love that saying where, if something's free,
oh, it's expensive.
Then you're the product, right? Like you're it's free for a reason because somebody's getting paid because it's free because you're watching. And so, this is the time right now where you need to, you have to. It's not a need to. You have to start watching your money. And you've had some good points over the times, and it's just be creative, right? Start taking inventory in your life and what you need and what you don't need. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, the first thing you have to do is you have to start with a budget.
You have to.
You just have to start with a budget. That's the first thing.
That's a tough one, though.
You've got to write down
That's admitting that you're doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's tough for people. It really is to say, hey, you know what? I know that I'm just stressed, and you know what? And a lot of people spend money or buy things for themselves because they're depressed, they're down. But you have to bite the bullet and do that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
if you're worried about money, you have to do a budget.
Yeah, you have to do a budget. I just remember, if I got someone to do a budget, and their budget, they're spending more money than they're bringing in. Not by much, a couple $100.
That doesn't work.
But they are spending more money than they bring in.
So it's credit cards.
Well, just everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, to me, this basically, it looked like a doctor looking at, an MRI of a heart and it about to just clog and just to die, right? That's the kind of the same, like, oh my God.
And look, have you been getting dizzy? Like, yeah, a little bit. Like, well, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
You might die. You might want to check into that.
I'm like, we got to get to work on this. I mean, like, I freaked out. Like, I mean, I started sweating and stuff. And I'm like, we've got to work on this immediately. And and I'm like, there is such low hanging fruit. I mean, they were spending like $300 a month on television. They were spending $150 a month on yard work, right? And just a whole bunch of I'm like, you need to go renegotiate. You need to start checking around, running around with your auto insurance. You got and I'm giving this whole list, and and they're like, and I'm like, what do you mean? Well, I mean, I can't really get rid of the yard person.
Well,
I'm like the person that mows your yard. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you have 2 teenage boys. You have 2 teenage boys.
You have a membership at Gold's Gym. Cancel that and get your workout by mowing your yard, and then you saved two.
But then they're like, but no, I mean, my boys, they've got football and basketball and school grades and stuff like that, and I'm
takes an hour.
But the thing is that when you go, sometimes the spending of the money is such ingrained that when you're doing this, it hurts. I mean, it's I don't know if you've ever watched the TV show Hoarders.
Right.
That is the most eye-opening thing in what human nature can devolve into, and people's finances are the same way, and so basically I'm like, do you understand that you're $4,000 from being maxed out on your credit cards, and at that point you won't be able to survive financially?
Right.
What do you mean? I said, well, you're spending almost, it was like 280 some change, 280, right? So that's $300 a month.
Yeah.
Divided by 4,000, you're like 25, 30, or 10 months, $300 or $3,000.
Or a bad accident, or a flat
but
tire,
I'm saying in 10 months, or 12 months, in a year, you've run out of the ability to use the credit card. So you can't survive anymore. In a year from now, you will not have a way to pay your bills.
Or if you have a flat tire or some other, life things happen, it's quicker.
But see, the thing is I found that when you go with the flat tire or the accident, or they don't, because that won't happen to them. Yeah. But if you just point out, look, in 11.42 months, you will run out of the ability to charge on your credit card.
Right.
And since you're already maxed, they're probably not going to, they're not going to raise it. They only raise credit debt when you won't use it.
Sure.
Like, I have credit cards, I don't even know how high they are because I don't use them, right? But when you're maxed and ask for an extension, they know you're over leveraged and they're not going to get it to you.
Yeah, right.
So we need to get on top of this now, like today.
That's when we start negotiating.
And I'm like, yeah. And I said, the first thing you got to do is cut the yard person out. And they just couldn't do it. And at that point, I knew that there was no success until sometimes people have to fall off the bottom of the rope. When you get to the end of the rope, some people have to fall into the abyss before you can pull them out.
Right? Yeah, you don't fix it till it's broken.
Yeah, and and I'm thinking, you came to me for a reason, so we need to work on this now as opposed to later. And some people, they wouldn't make any changes.
Well, the one that I did, and I do, and I need to go back. I cut the cord as far as cable went. I decided that I didn't watch it much. If I did want to watch something, I'd go somebody's house to watch it. But is recalling your cable provider, your phone provider, and your insurance provider.
Yep.
And tell them, hey, I've been with you especially if you've been with them for over 2 years.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I need a better deal, or I'm going to move.
Yep.
Or I'm thinking about moving. Can you give me a better deal? And you'll be surprised between those 3. You make those 3 phone calls today. Yeah. You can save up to $150, $200.
Yeah, and yeah, especially on the television. I mean, I was cutting the cable, period, but boy, they got down cheap before I finally no, I'm not. I'm done.
You'll be surprised when you do that. When you say you're done, and you're really trying to get off the phone.
Yeah.
How many people they put you to? Well, I tell you that.
Let me get you to my manager's, area supervisor's, brother's, sister's, uncle's boss.
Yeah, right.
He will get you a good deal. But again, they'll do that to keep your business. But yes, you got to negotiate. First of all, you can raise your deductible, right? If you're never going to get in an accident or anything, like you said, you're never going to raise your deductible. You're at $500, move it to $1,000. That'll save you $1,000 a year. $80 a month.
There you go.
There's so many ways to do that. But the first thing, it starts with this very intrusive personal space violating piece of paper called a budget.
Yeah.
And you write down every single thing you spend for a month.
That's right.
Everything.
That's right.
From whatever days you pick it, from the 5th to the 5th, or the 5th to the 4th, or the 1st to the 31st, however it is. But you every day. I will tell you, when I did that exercise, by the end of the month, I wouldn't buy something because I didn't want to have to write it down.
Yeah, because that's more me right there. Like, I don't have to write it down. But you said some good news earlier, and I want to share that with everybody, or you share it with everybody. Is you got somebody into a house for $2,500?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
How's that possible in this market? How's that reality?
There the down payment assistance programs. Okay. There is, and I'm not going to say it because the moment I say it, it'll go away or something. Okay. But right now, one of the local area counties is giving X amount of dollars, just giving it away. So that money will run out soon, but they're giving that towards people to purchase. So the county's giving you some money.
Call you right away.
Yeah, I mean,
because you've been wanting to get a house, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, and then down payment assistance. Sellers are motivated to sell the home, so they're giving up seller concessions, which they weren't before. So you take down payment assistance, which is 4 or 5%, and then you take the the $7,500 that the county's giving you, and you get another $6,000 or $7,000 from the seller. Next thing you know, $2,500, you bought your rate down pretty low.
So I can put my bank robbery scheme down. I already got a driver.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
I've already decided on where to hide the money. I can put that away.
Yes, okay. Because washing that to turn it clean, it's like 60 cents on the dollar. It's not even worth doing it anymore.
Can I call you for advice on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, it's not to do it. Yeah. So there's lots of options out there. Getting into it, the rates are coming back down, so you won't hear that now because you've been hearing how they're going up. Well, for the last week they've been coming down. So next week they will be reporting on how the rates are coming down. So definitely
rates are coming down.
Yeah, rates.
Oh, great news.
Yeah, and there is good news. The Mortgage Bankers Association believes that rates will come down. Now, how much is they didn't say, but rates will come down this year.
Nice.
So they believe that the spread is overspread, and that once the Feds settle, then the mortgage rate will start to shrink.
Great news. Great news.
Yes, it is. Hey, but it all starts with a budget. You've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what we've heard so far. If you have any questions about anything we've said, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
your
American Dream. See you in just a minute.